Hey, I'm Film Club reporter Finn, and I'm here at Hampton Court Palace to interview the main actors and director of the new film, Jack the Giant Slayer. Wish me luck. I loved the film, and I jumped out my seat. You made Superman and X-Men. What made you think Farm Boy Jack was a good hero?
I think I liked him as a hero because he's kind of vulnerable. He doesn't get much lower than where Jack is, so because he's just so vulnerable and so low in his life and so trapped in his farm, you root for him. You want him to succeed, and I think it's important to have a hero that you root for. It's like Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. You wanted him to go off and have an adventure. You want Nick to have an adventure, and you want him to get the girl.
I've heard so many versions of the story. What were the most important parts to keep in?
With this being a kind of a spin on the main story, you know, obviously there is no princess in the original one, so that was kind of nice to have in there.
I like the addition of there being lots of giants instead of just one. But obviously the beanstalk had to stay, and there's a few references back to the story with, you know, you have the harp and at one point and a little golden egg and stuff, so there's a few throwbacks to the original.
Well, I wanted to keep the beanstalk. I wanted to really make a gigantic beanstalk and use all the technology we have today to do that. And then I also wanted the giants. I wanted there to be many giants, and I wanted them to each have a different character, a different personality, and be like giants we haven't seen before.
I think the most important things to keep in it certainly are Jack and the beans and the beanstalk. Everything else, and the giants, of course. But, you know, the story that you probably heard when you were younger, that I heard when I was younger, and that I read my kids when I was younger, is a very different story than this.
The 3D effects made me feel like I was on a roller coaster. What was the effect you were after?
I took a lot of care. We actually shot 3D on the set, and I wanted to, you know, take a lot of care with it because people spend extra money to go see 3D movies, so they should get the most out of the 3D. And also, we pulled some things out of the screen and had some fun with it as well. Oh, and we did, I'll tell you, we did one more thing that's kind of neat. We had for whenever the giant looks at somebody.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah, we pull the lenses apart. So what that does is that it has the effect of miniaturizing. So at the end, when the giants are bearing down on all the soldiers, they all look tiny. And so that was something fun that we did, because that would be the giant's POV, because his eyes are farther apart because his head's so big.
I loved all the effects, especially the giants and stunts. Was it hard to act with nothing there to respond to?
Yes, it was hard. It was very challenging because a lot of it is your imagination, but also Bryan was great at kind of showing us drawings of what the giants were going to look like, so we had a vague idea of what we were dealing with.
Yeah, the stunts were actually a lot of fun to film. That's kind of the easiest part. As tricky as it is physically, you're actually doing the thing, so then you don't have to worry about how you're reacting. You just actually try and jump across a massive hole or climb a beanstalk, and then you're just doing the things rather than thinking about pretending that you're looking at something.
There's lots of stunts. Did you do them yourself and get lots of bruises?
I didn't do them all myself, but I still got lots of bruises. When Ewan and I have that fight at the end, toward the end of the film, he comes and he jumps on me and we roll down the big boulder down into the waterfall. So that was the stunt guys, that was not us. And the fight, for the most part, 95% of the fight was us. We shot it over a period of a couple of weeks, so it was really quite hard, and there were lots of bruises.
I'm now in the courtyard, also known as the fictional town of Cloister. I'm so excited because there's the giant's props in here. Let's go and check them out. I jumped out of my seat at one point. Was it scary on set, or was it easy getting scared?
It was scary in the sense that it was a big production.
Yeah.
And we were kind of the lead roles in it.
Lots of pressure.
That's intimidating.
And also working with amazing people like Bryan, who's done some incredible films, you know, that's kind of scary, but he's such a nice guy, and everyone was lovely, actually.
Playing a villain is fun, but those suits of armour isn't as comfortable as onesies. Do you know what a onesie is?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
How difficult is it to act in one?
It was hard. Well, I wasn't really wearing a suit of armor. Now, Ewan McGregor's character and Eddie Marzan, they were wearing the armor, which is right behind you there, if you see it. I was wearing a leather doublet that weighed a lot, and sort of tights and these boots that had like really pointy toes. So that was very uncomfortable.
Some of my favourite bits were the effects. If they are done afterwards, how did you direct the live bits?
They weren't done afterwards. Actually, the giants were done on a motion capture stage before I started shooting the movie. It's called a volume, and the giants actually act out the scenes wearing suits and helmets with facial reference cameras. Once that's all in the computer, when I go to shoot the live action stuff, I have something called simulcam, which then which projects the giants into the camera. So wherever I look with the camera, the giant's actually acting. It's not finished. It's a crude rendering of the giant. It actually is acting out the scene with the actors. So it gives me a reference of what it's all going to look like when it's done. And then you're right. We have to finish the effects.
If you had magic beans, what would be at the end of your beanstalk?
A lot of food, probably. I want a lot of food.
Yeah,
At the end of the
I
beanstalk.
want a lot of food.
What food in particular?
Cheeseburgers and fries.
What would you want at the end of the beanstalk?
It's a choice between money and great intelligence.
Oh,
Go for the great intelligence, and then you can make the money.
Yeah, that's what
that's
I
a
was thinking.
good idea.
Yeah.
I would have gone straight for the money.
Do you see how we went cheeseburgers? That's such a better answer.
I know,
Great
man.
intelligence. I didn't think of that.
I've had a great time on the set of Jack the Giant Slayer, interviewing the main characters and the director. I hope you enjoy the film as much as I do. Also, check out our website for more information. Now, I'm going to find my own adventure. I hope you find yours.